argument, all right? And this is important for us because we basically have an opinion about a statement. Our opinion is if we agree or disagree. Then with persuasion, we try to convince somebody to agree with that point of view, also to do something. But when it comes to the argument, this is where we actually present solid facts about that argument that we're trying to present. All right, so I hope this is going to be an informative video for you guys as we get into our discussions on argument and persuasion. Right, you guys are seeing my screen, right?
Yeah, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you. Fantastic. All right, here we go.
When crafting an argument, someone could reasonably ask, hey, what's the difference between an argument essay and an opinion essay? That is from. Luckily, I've got answers for that person. Opinion, persuasion, and argument are like brothers in the same family. Opinion is the youngest brother, persuasion is in the middle, and argument is definitely the big brother. Opinion just wants to let people know that he's feeling a certain type of way about something. He's not trying to convince anyone of anything, and he's not really using anything like facts, evidence, or reasoning. He's just saying to the world, hey, I have this opinion, and I want you to know it. Example, Missouri is a great place to live because we have nice people and lots of fun stuff to do. In this statement, we see nobody is trying to convince us. They're just sharing their opinion. We also see a lot of value judgments, or words that reveal we have a particular feeling or bias for or against something. This person has judged the people of Missouri, and he finds them to be nice. He's also judged the things one can do in Missouri, and he finds those things fun. Persuasion has a little more finesse, but like his younger brother, he doesn't concern himself too much with facts and evidence. Sure, he throws out the occasional statistic or quote, but the main tool in his tool bag is emotion. He has opinions like his little brother, but now he's trying to convince other people to have those opinions too. And he uses mostly emotional tactics to persuade. Example, you should come and live in Missouri because your children would be happier here. Don't you care enough about your children to make them happy? In this statement, we see that someone is trying to convince us that we should change our minds or our lives in some way. But notice how they're trying to pull at our heartstrings. They're using someone's love for their family and a hefty tablespoon of guilt to make someone agree with them. Argument takes a bit of inspiration from both of his little brothers, but he uses primarily evidence and reasoning to get people to agree with him. See, hidden inside of every argument is persuasion. After all, the purpose of academic argumentation is ultimately to convince you of something. And hidden inside of each piece of persuasion is opinion. If someone didn't have an opinion about something, why would they try to be persuading you about it? While good arguments will include a little bit of emotion just for effect, argument's most powerful and persuasive tool is good evidence and sound reasoning. Example, more families should move to Missouri because Missouri has a very low cost of living and affordable housing. In this statement, we see that someone still has the opinion that Missouri is a great place to live, and we see they're trying to persuade others to come live there too. But now they're using reason to persuade. As a good arguer, this person will go on to tell us where they got their evidence that proves Missouri has a low cost of living and affordable housing. And then they'll tell us why those things make Missouri worth moving to. They may throw in a dash of emotion here and there for flavor, but they'll be mostly focused on the evidence. So in the end, opinion, persuasion, and argument are very closely related to each other. The main difference lies in what each genre of writing is trying to accomplish and how they're accomplishing it. Opinion's goal is to share an opinion, and that's accomplished just by sharing it. Persuasion's goal is to change someone's mind, and that's accomplished mostly through emotion. Argument's goal is to reveal a position on a claim, change someone's mind about that claim, and accomplish that through the use of evidence and reasoning. Hopefully it's clearer to you now how opinion, persuasion, and argument are linked, but are also different. Have a great day.
All right, so excellent. I hope this has brought some ideas to mind. All right, so we're gonna take a little step back. All right, so yesterday in our class, we had to look at arguments based on relevant information, and we went through the statements from our textbook that dealt with smoking being banned in public places. Right, and you guys were supposed to go on to the section. Let me copy our link here first. Right, so you guys were supposed to go on to the section looking at the different arguments. Well, looking at the different topics and writing down your own little list of points for or against, or for and against the topic that was most interesting to you. All right, so I have created the document that we're going to be working on together in a little while. But first, let me try to I'm trying to copy the link for it to give it back to you. But we want our discussion on the topics that I hope you guys looked at. So remember, we have the other scan from our chapter, which is pages, it was page 200. All right. Okay, so it's created a link. Good. We're going to copy the link. All right. So this we will come back to this link and this document in a while. Right. So we had 7 topics that you guys were supposed to try to find out information for. All right. So I'm going to close this off now. All right. That's okay. We will take the link up after.
But you know, I forgot to search up the topic.
Pardon?
I said, forget to search up the topic.
Can you repeat that? I didn't understand a thing. Sorry.
I forget to search up the topics.
Oh, you forgot to. Okay, that's okay. That's okay. All right. Even if you didn't get to research the topic, all right, I hope that you all would be able to have an opinion on the topic, and we should be able to have a good discussion on the topic itself. All right. So there were seven topics. Some of them you can make common sense of, but remember, I told you guys that so between this week and next week, most likely, when we are looking at these topics, you're gonna have the time to put in some research to actually look up the topic so that you can get more information about it, so you can get more evidence, right? So remember, we have 4 different forms of evidence. All right, so what we're gonna do now is discuss the points, things that we know about each topic as fast as possible. We may not be able to do all 7, but I would really love, I'm really looking forward to hearing you guys talk about the first one. If the page would be so kind as to load, so just give it a moment. If you can access it, please do from your device. And don't forget, we also have the chat that we can use in the meeting in case we have any more glitches with the system. All right, let's see. Okay, I'm gonna go into saver mode here. All right, excellent. So we're going on to the next page. 3. I'm gonna zoom in. So lovely, lovely, lovely topics. Right, so yesterday we went through all of these points that were relevant or not relevant to the idea of banning smoking in public places, right? So we have 7 topics here now, all right? And we're going to try our best to develop our arguments for and against this. So number 1 is the one that we're going to focus on for the next few minutes, all right? So as far as possible, I want you to think carefully before you give a response, right? and don't let it too charged by emotions. Of course, our emotions and our opinion will be valid, but we also want to see any factual information that we can get to support this point. So number one, exams should be abolished. Do you all agree or disagree? You can use the chat if you wish while I'm trying to get our document across to share to our little spot here. Examinations should be abolished, yes or no?
No.
It means we must know what abolished means. No. All right, so we have one no. All right. Can you give me a reason why examinations should not be abolished? Why you say no?
Miss, you know what abolish mean?
Yes, abolish means to get rid of it, that it's completely removed.
Right, Miss. That's why I said no.
So you don't think that examinations should be completely removed. Why? Why are examinations important or significant or needed?
To see how much you learn.
To
For the
see how
future,
much you
like in
learn.
work.
Excellent.
To understand how
So it can help you perhaps, right? So we can understand a specific topic. And in our future, we will have things where we need to do an exam to be able to be qualified in a particular way. Good. Any other reasons? All right, so I'm going to poke a little bit here. So I think exams should be abolished because I find that during the course of the term and the course of you can do a lot more activities that can actually show students grades and show ability and knowledge rather than an exam at the end. What do you think?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, what? We need to say more than yes, right? So we are getting, remember we are in Form 3, we are near the end of Form 3, we are going into Form 4. You guys are going to meet some of these things again, all right? So we have to be able to say a little bit more, give a little more reason why, give a little more support.
Let's repeat, please.
All right. So I said, I think exams should be abolished. And my reason was that I think students, you would be able to get a better sense of what students know and what students are able to do over the period of the term or during the course of the year, which might be better rather than an exam at the end. Can we add support to that? Or can we say something opposite to that?
Eh,
Right, so we realize it's a lot of thought, right? So here's another point that I would like to read. Almir, you wanted to add or say something opposite to that?
Miss.
Okay, no problem. All right, so what I want you guys to think about is that we have solid arguments for and against it. What you guys are saying is right. Examinations are important and they should not be removed because in some way they do serve their purpose. So what our job is to be able to find the information to support why and why not. So there is no particularly right answer or there is no particularly wrong answer when we are discussing a position on the topic. Right? So you guys are following me so far? All right.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. Anybody else?
They paying up the thumbs
Right
up
now, I
things.
know there's a lot more people in class, right? The topic, it depends on, all right. All right, let me see if we can add any more people into class before we move on. I'm missing Kareem. Kareem is here?
Nope.
All right. All right, so we have a few people who should be in class. I realized, I think we were right at the beginning. Some people might not have realized that we do have class today. Okay, so we're moving on. All right, who just were able to connect, no problem. All right, so we want to move on a little bit. All right, some other points that we can talk about with regard to examination. So something that can happen that we actually see happening during the term. So if we were to have only stuff happening during the term, what happens when people have issues during the term? So for example, as we are online now, some people have connectivity issues, some people don't have access to the internet, some people, their devices are not allowing them to use, to open up the apps. Maybe they are not able to access the information or the class for whatever reason. Maybe someone is ill, things like that affect when work is done in class. And maybe an end of term examination or exams at the end of something, maybe it allows us to be prepared at that point in time, and it allows us to know and to ensure as far as possible that we have to keep our schedule free and we have to try our best to access our examination at the end. All right, that can be a possible support for exams at the end. We can plan for an exam properly during the course of a term. However, if you have a few things happening during the term, it means that you would have less items coming on the exam itself. All right, so it's a lot to think about, right? You think you guys would be able to research that topic?
Examination should be abolished.
Mm-hmm. Not right now, but you guys think you can check it out later, right?
Yes, miss.
Okay, great, thank you. Right, so let's look at the next topic. The death penalty should be abolished. So do you all know about the death penalty at all? Do you know that we have a death penalty in Trinidad?
Miss, that is like instead of carrying them to jail, they carrying them um to hang on thing.
No, that
Yes. All right,
Yes, should be
someone else,
abolished.
it should be abolished. All right, so remember, we're saying yes, it should be abolished or banned, or no. And then we have to give reasons why. So, Almi, what is your reason why?
It should be abolished because you could at least get them 25 years in prison because them family members will miss them when they die.
Mhm.
When they carry them to hang on thing.
So they have family members, right? And they will be missed by their family, even though they are criminals, right? Good.
But
That's
yeah,
a good point. Any other reasons why?
I find it should not be abolished
Okay. Can you give me one reason why?
because if they didn't want it to go through that, they shall never do it. Did.
Mm-hmm. Right. right? Okay. So, keeping it that would keep criminals in check and know that they have a consequence for certain crimes that they commit. Good, good. Any other ideas? Should we have a death penalty or not have a death penalty, and why? All right, just one moment. I need to just step away for a brief second. All right, let's see. So you guys have time to think about the topic. Right, so I've not heard anybody saying anything yet. What are some other reasons that we can think about? All right, so like I said, this is
Miss
one of the
Watson,
topics
here.
that, what's that?
You have something in the back of your hair, Bonnie.
Oh, yes, I do. It's a pencil. Thank you. All right, so are we here now? You guys hearing me good? I'm back with my headset on.
Must be on again.
All right, awesome. Okay, so what else do we know about the death penalty? So we can talk about things like human rights. We can talk about maybe the law might be an old law that needs to be revised. Maybe they need to set the death penalty for specific crimes and things like that. So we do the research, we do the research and we should be able to find more reasons why or why not, all right, for this type of topic. All right, now this one, I think you guys should be able to give me some good answers for it. Cellular phones. Cellular phones should be banned in schools.
No, no, miss.
No, and why?
Because sure, you need to contact the parents in case of emergency. Next thing they're sick. But you know, some teachers in school also want let we use the phone sometimes.
I know. So it's better if students are allowed to have phones. Good. Can I get another reason?
The exact same thing I was going on. So.
That's the exact same thing because especially for emergencies, it's a very useful thing to have in schools. All right. Why else?
Miss and plus, if we have no teachers available
Mm-hmm.
in order to get to the phone and let you make the call, you have yours.
You have yours. That's right. All right. Any other ideas?
No, they wouldn't have to be asking people for calls or anything like that.
Good. So you would not have to ask other people to make a call or send a message or anything like that. So it gives you a sense of independence, being able to communicate independently. Mm-hmm.
Emergencies.
Emergencies, that's our number one answer, right? So emergencies is like at the top of it. What else? Can we think of any other reasons why they should not be banned? All right, so I'm thinking about our current situation online. So even though we're not in school, right? Given our current situation, let's say if we might be able to go back out to school a little bit, right? So some days you might go to school, some days you'll stay at home. How can a cell phone be helpful in relation to school?
You could call and tell the teacher what's the situation.
Right, so you can even keep in touch with your teacher and let them know what's the situation. Excellent point. All right, and I actually had to deal with that when I had to go out for students who had SBAs. Students had to let me know if they were coming into school or not, if they were able to stay or not, if they had a particular problem or not. Very good, very good. But I'm thinking about our situation right now with doing online school. All right, maybe you might not have an online class while you are in school to be on your phone, but I'm thinking we should be allowed to use our phones to do certain things in class time. Can you tell me what comes to mind when you hear me say that? What should you be allowed to do with phones in school?
Research.
Research. Excellent. We should be able to use our phones for doing research in school. And not only that, most of our phones now, you can also use them to do what? What can we create?
Let's repeat, please.
All right, so I'm saying what else? So yes, while we can do research with phones in school, what is something else we can do with phones while we are in school, in class?
Use the
Calculator.
calculator.
Calculators, good.
Miss, I might put on her. She can't take it.
I think it was like 3 or 4 of you all who thought about calculators. So some people might not have a calculator, but they might have the calculator app on their phone that can help them, you know, instead of working with 2 different devices, you have your phone that has everything on it, right? Good. And I was actually thinking as well, we might be able to do certain documents through using our smartphones. All right. So for example, from my phone, when I am on the Microsoft Teams app, I can go into a document, I can create a Word document, or I can go and create a slideshow. I can do a lot of things in relation to our classes, right? So it can be useful. Good. All right. So do we have any reasons why should the phones should be banned now on the opposite side? What would be some reasons that we say, yes, ban the phones?
Some phones get stolen.
Phones can get stolen. Deliza.
Miss getting distracted in class. With it.
Distractions in class. Terry.
Posting people on social media, miss.
People on social.
On the phone during class.
Right, people in we had, and we know we had a lot of problems with that. People being on their
Yes, the boys.
phones, playing games in the middle of Miss class.
I wonder
We
who
would,
got it.
I don't know. I have no clue. I have no clue who that is.
You're cursing.
It's the boy
And
from
Who called my name there?
Here, Almir.
No, you know what?
Oh
You know what?
my.
This is a kind of big game.
But not only that, what about all the girls who had their boyfriend calling them while class was going on and saying, Mrs.
You
my
call.
father,
Yeah,
and the
I want
cousin.
yeah, Miss Bella.
All right, so we can see, right, from our observations of what took place in school, right, we have a lot of factual knowledge that we can present based on what we know and experience as well. All right, so we've looked at 3 topics so far. The last one, we will touch on it a little bit. All forms of gambling should be banned. No, it doesn't say where it should be banned, but it says all forms of gambling. So it means we need to know about all forms of gambling as far as possible, right? Good. So, are we there? Do we agree or disagree?
Agree.
Yeah, agree, miss.
Agree.
Mm-hmm. And why do we agree?
Miss, because sometimes when people gambling and it
Mm-hmm.
could cause fight
And it
and
can cause
disagreement.
fights and disagreements. So
But
gambling
I feel
causes
we should
fights and
not
disagreements.
in school
Uh-huh. All right, so we're gonna look at
because
gambling in school, right?
when when you lose your money
Mm-hmm.
and you get sour, you just wanna go and play over and then lost all your money now and then wanna cost the next person that win your money.
All
Make no
right.
sense?
So it doesn't make sense. It's something that is constantly causing conflict, right? Any other things happen with gambling in school?
Miss, people get
No,
addicted to gambling where they cannot
People
stop.
And
can get
these
addicted to
people come back
gambling.
to school to gamble as well, miss.
Some people only come to school to gamble. Mm-hmm. But
the
I like
cost
that point.
Like,
people,
well,
And
the
gamble
cost
that.
people
quarrel,
don't know the game and they just wanna go and play it.
right?
And then when
Well,
somebody like
curiosity.
yeah.
Excellent, excellent. All right, so I want us to think now a little bit broader. What about if they stop things like Playway and the National Lottery?
Nah, it's not nah, no.
Why not?
To do with that, though.
No, miss, I find that, miss, that's a big difference.
How is it
Yeah,
different?
miss. It's
Miss,
big
that's
money.
something different. You're winning money
You're
legally, no,
actually
miss.
winning money if you are over
No,
18, right?
and because school
If
for
you're over
education.
18, you're winning legally.
Right?
That one makes sense, miss.
It makes sense because it gives you a chance to win money legally. Right. Hold a
It's the
second.
only
That's
money.
yeah.
You don't only win money alone, you just win cars too.
You could win
Yeah, but
cars
yes,
also,
Yeah,
right?
miss.
So the
Locks and them
prizes,
and
they're very enticing. They're very, very much enticing. You get the excitement of being able to win a big prize. Good. What about the addiction? Would you say that some people would get addicted to wanting to gamble legally all the time?
yeah, miss, it has some people
yeah,
Yeah,
miss.
miss.
Yes,
want to
some
play them,
people,
that can't wait
they
to play
can't
with when
wait
the
to
day.
play with. Exactly.
Some
All
people
right.
just put in the last dollars and play a mark.
I know, right?
Yeah,
I
miss, some
totally
people
agree.
putting the last money, spend the last of time money to play with and walk home after. But that's a little dread it is. That is to
It
tell
is
you how
dread.
dread it is.
Just to take that chance, right? Just to take that chance. All right, so we're gonna move on to something a little bit more structured, right? So in our chat, we should see the link that takes us to our Word document. All right. On my screen, you might be able to see it. If you don't get to access it from the link in the chat, you can go into the file section and you're looking for the file named Arguments and Persuasion. Right, so that was the document that was on the screen at the beginning of class. Right, I will try to find a way to link it back to that announcement that I had there. Let's see. All right, so from our file section, where are you? Did it get alphabetical? Hold on,
That's
hold
what you
on. I
have to
need to
do.
go back. All right, so when you click on the link, all right, you will see the Word document comes up and there's a table, right? So you could pick a topic, one of them that we just discussed, or if you feel like one of the other topics that are in the list, all right, you can pick one of the topics. So we can just take the keyword from the topic. So let's say if you want to talk about gambling, on one side of the table, there's points for, so you're going to write down your points or reasons supporting gambling. And then on the other side, the other column, it's against. So you're going to write your points against it. So what I will do is, as mine is loading, right, we have just about 15 minutes left and you guys would be able to complete this after class as well. All right, so we are developing our supporting points for and against a statement. I'm going to try to write the 4 statements down. When you're picking a box, you put your name in the box and you put your points for on the left side, and you put your points against on the right side. All right, try to get at if you feel like most of your points are for, I still want you to try to get 1 point against. If your points are against, get at least 2 or 3 points against and maybe 1 point for. All right, so I will put an example here for you guys as well. All right, so topic number 1, examinations should be abolished. All right, so I'm saying Alex and I think Terry are in the same first box. You can skip down and go into another box in the table. Examinations should be abolished. Number 2. All right, the death penalty should be abolished. Number 3, cellular phones should be banned. Do you want me to put all 7 topics or just these 4 that we just discussed?
How much you write on it? But not gonna have to work page before.
Right, so what you could do is just put the number, the topic number. You put your name and the topic number and you write down your points. All right, so you should be seeing the 4 topics. Let's stick to the 4 topics for now. And later I can add in the other topics if you like. The other topics would be HIV/AIDS patients should be isolated from society, stem cell research should be encouraged, and street vending should be banned. But I think we had a lot going with these 4. So you put your name in the side, on the side, not in the side, on the side. So I'm gonna put Miss Ali, and I'm gonna put the topic that I liked. All right, so the topic that I liked was number 3. Was it number 3? No, I'll go with number 1, right? So we can see how we're gonna put the points. So my points for number 1, excellent. All right, so remember, even though the box might be small, when you start typing into it, the information in the box itself would expand, right? So don't worry about if the box is looking too small. The space will be created once you're typing out a response. So examinations cause stress and anxiety for students as 1 point that I made. Students can be assessed over a period of time, which might be a better measure of their ability and skills. What else can I say about banning exams? Exams cause
Miss, mine taking long to come out.
All
So
right.
I could write it in the chat.
Yes, you can write it in the chat. I forgot to tell you guys that if you're having trouble with the document, You can put it in the chat and I will copy it over. Thank you so much. All right, so I have 3 points.
I write it. Something I do and it zoom in and it's not zooming out.
Okay.
Miss, yeah, it's my own sticking too.
It's sticking a little bit too. All right, so what will most likely happen? All right. I still want to see you guys put an answer down somewhere, right? So if it's sticking too much, jump over to the comments for the meeting, put down your points, your topic and your point in the same, well, I will see your name on the comment, but put down the topic that you're choosing and put down your points. All right, let me fix up our little table a little bit while we're trying to wait. I'm going to put it in bold. Good. So I've just moved it around a little bit. Good.
Miss Sally, your phones is which number?
Cellular phones is number 3.
Okay.
Exams number 1, death penalty number 2, cell phones number 3, and all forms of gambling should be banned number 4. All right, I appreciate you guys so much today. Your discussion has been very, very interesting. I like to see that you all have been thinking about these things and that you all are able to formulate a response, you're able to formulate an opinion, all right? And this is important because when you get into Form 4 and Form 5, you're going to be dealing with similar things, right? You're going to be dealing with similar topics, and to be able to approach it, you have to think about it in this same kind of way. This is going to be the same strategy that you're using when you're going up to the next level, right? Thinking about things in a different way. All right, hold on. I think my screen sharing is off a little bit. I'm going to try to stop and resume it. And then in the meanwhile, I hope you guys can still try to access the Word file. Right, so my Teams is being a little bit difficult. Right, so I'm also going to be checking the chat to see how you guys are coping. All right, I know it takes us a little while to type it out, so I'm glad to see that you all are really attempting to access the document. That's I mean, given how tricky it can be, I'm really proud of you guys. What's that?
Which part the document is?
All right, so from the meeting chat right now. All right, just give me a moment. My Teams just cut off on me for a little bit. All right. Okay. All right, just a moment. I'm trying to reconnect on my laptop. Okay, I'm hoping that I am back into the meeting. I'm going to try to share my screen. Right, I saw one comment come in already in the chat. I'm seeing where I think, was it Xavier and Almir put in their points as well. All right, hold a second. I'm not sure if the audio was shared. All right, excellent. So I'm seeing you guys are putting in your points. All right, I'm going to add in Alex's points over here. Excellent points. All right. All right. Okay, so I am going to stop my sharing again for now. All right. Okay, guys. So we can pause for a moment. We can pause for a moment. All right. So I will see the comments that are coming in the chat. I will definitely add them to our document. All right. How are you guys feeling?
Good, miss. Good, miss.
All right. Seeing a thumbs up. Good. All right. So did you like discussing these topics today?
Yes, miss.
Yeah, miss.
All right, great. So you feel like, you know, in your brain, you can look at things in a little bit different way now, right? So I want you guys to remember that when you have an argument for writing in particular, you try your best to ensure that you have support or evidence for it. If you are just trying to persuade someone to do something, typically you would have more emotions that you would carry. But we're seeing where we want to present our argument. We need more facts. We need some solid evidence to support that point of view that we have, whether we agree with something or we disagree with it. And most of these topics that will come, they are both sides of it, and we need to be able to know a little bit more about both sides of the argument. All right, so what I will do is what will I do? I will leave the document. I will try to add the link to our main section in the team where we have the argument document, where I have the scan from our textbook. And what you guys will do is you take the time. Well, tomorrow you have a holiday, so you have time tomorrow, right? So you could do it later too. You can try to go back in and add another point if you wish. If you don't see my comment, Don't worry, I will try to add it in a little while. All right? Don't panic about it. All right, so I thank you guys so much for today. I really enjoyed our interaction about the topics today, and I hope that you enjoyed it as much as I did. All right, so we're going to end the recording now, and then I'm going to end our session because you guys have to